Hi, I am Sherin Beevi, Assistant Professor in CSE Department from RMD Engineering College. So now discuss about the topic is 8255 Parallel Communication Interface or Programmable Peripheral Interface or PPI. So this is the 40-pin IC of 8255. So 8255 Programmable Peripheral Interface. So it is 8255 is designed for use with Intel's 8-bit, 16-bit and higher capability microprocessors. So 8255 is a 40-pin IC designed to perform a variety of interface functions in a computer environment. It is flexible and economical. So it is a 40-pin diagram. So here it can be divided into three groups of port. Port A, port A, PA0 to PA7 and port B, PP0 to PP7 and port C is PC0 to PC7. So it can be divided into 4 upper part and 4 lower part. PC4 to PC7 is the upper part. PC0 to PC3 is the lower part. D0 to D7, it is a database buffer. Okay, so this is the pin diagram. A0 and A1, these two, it is called a selection line. So three different mode of operation. So here port A, port B and port C. So based on these two selection line, which port is enabled. So these two, it is called a selection line. So here it is used for to read the data. It is used for to write the data. It is for chip select. So when the chip select value is 1, that time only 8255 interface will be enabled. Otherwise, it will be disabled only. So here it is a 8255 interface. So this side it is a microprocessor. This side memory or IO devices. So here memory and IO devices directly communicate to the processor, it is very difficult. So we have to easily to communicate from processor to the IO devices with the help of one interface. So that interface, it is called a 8255 interface. So here it is a read mode or write mode. So read mode means to give the input from peripheral or IO devices to the processor. Write mode means after the execution, you are getting the output from processor to IO or memory devices. So this is a read means we have to give the input to the processor. Write mode means to receive the output from the processor. So here the signals of, so here this is a 8255. So this is wrong. Okay, so here it is a block diagram PA0 to PA7 and here PP0 to PP7. So here this is the upper part, this is the lower part, chip select, these all are control word logic. Okay, so here we will see detail in the block diagram of 8255. So 8255 parallel peripheral interface, it is a 24 input output lines. So one side is 24 input line and output lines. So maybe individually programmed. So two groups, group A and group B. Totally three different types of port. Port A and port C upper, it is called a group A. Port B and port C lower, it is called a group B. So three ports, each port has 8-bit. So port A lines are identified by the symbol of PA0 to PA7. PB0 to PB7, it is a port B. Port, this is a 8-bit, this is a 8-bit. Port C is also 8-bit. but it can be divided by upper part and the lower part. 4 to 7 upper part and 0 to 3 is the lower part. Okay, so here port A 8-bit and the upper part, these two combined, it is called a group A. And here port B and the lower part of port C, it is called a group B. Okay, D0 to D7, it is called a database buffer. It is a bi-directional bus directly communicate to the processor. Okay, so data input and output lines for the device, all the information read from and written to the A255 occurs via these 8 data lines only. So this is the bi-directional bus. It is directly communicate to the processor to give the input and to collect the output with the help of this 7 database buffer only. Chip select. So here this is the logical 0. Here bar is there. So 0 bar means it is a 1. So 1 means the microprocessor can read or write the data. That means enable. Otherwise disable only. To reset. So A255 is placed into the its reset state if the input line is logical 1. Logical 0 means chip select. Logical 1 means reset mode. So that time it is a enable or disable. It is depends on the chip select. So to read. So this is the input line driven by the microprocessor and should be low to indicate read operation to 8255. So here write operation means this is an input line driven by the microprocessor. So it is low on this line indicate the write operation. So A0, A1. So these address input lines are driven by this microprocessor. Selection address. If the address line value 00, port A select. If the address value is 01, port B will be execute. 10 means port C will be executed. So 11 means it is a control register. That means directly communicate to the processor to input, to give input to output. So to give the input with the help of the port A or port B or port C, it is depends on these two selection line. If the value, any one value, don't care condition, is either 0 or either 1. So that means it is not selected. So that means it is enabled. So when it is disabled means it is a chip select value is 1, it is disabled. Otherwise enable only. So this is the block diagram of A255A. So here A255 bidirectional database buffer directly communicate. This side is processor 8286, one of the processor we studied in the microprocessor subjects. Okay, so here this entire circuit will be enabled or disabled and which mode, which port is selected. So all are depends on the selection line. So enable or disable, it is based on the chip select and reset. Okay, entire circuit can be divided by group A and group B. Group A means 8-bit port A and upper part of the port C. These two is combined, it is called a group A control. And the lower part of the port C and port B, these two combined, it is called a group B control. So entire circuit can be divided by 4 types. One is database buffer, read write logic, group A and group B. Here these 4. So database buffer means it is a bi-directional buffer. Is used to interface the A255 to the system data bus. So the data is transmitted or received by the buffer on execution of input or output instruction by the CPU from the IO devices and memory devices to give the input to the processor, that is a read operation or transmission. After the execution, to collect the data from the processor to give the memory devices and IO devices, that is the write operation or received mode. Read write control logic. So to read the data, to write the data. group A. Already we know that group A means port A and upper part of the port C. Port C upper. Group B means lower part of port C and port B. So port A. So this is a 8-bit latched or buffered output and 8-bit input latch. So it can be programmed by 3 modes. Mode 0, mode 1 and mode 2. So 3 mode operation supported by port A. 2 mode operation, mode 0 and mode 1. These 2 mode operation only supported by this port B. Mode 0 operation only supported by port C. So all 3 mode operations supported by port A, 2 mode operation supported by port B, only mode 0 operation. So mode 0 operation supported by port A, port B and port C. Mode 1 operation supported by port A and port B only. Mode 2 supported by only port A. Okay, this is the control word register. So 8-bit control word register, already we know that D0, D1, D2 up to D7. So these control word register only directly communicate to the processor. So first one is D7. So based on the D7 only, the entire circuit will be active. So the D7 is 1, the remaining all will be enabled. If the D7 value is 0 means all will be disabled only. So D5 and D6. So it can be used for mode selection. So 0, 0 because for group A supporting 3 mode operation. So mode 0, mode 1 and mode 2. So when it will be activated, so if the value is 0, 0, so mode 0 operation. If the value is 0, 1, mode 1 operation. If the value is 1x, any one value, either 0 or either 1. So D6 value is 1. So that's the situation, mode 2 operation. D4 means it is a group A. Group A controlled by port A and upper part of port C. So that's why in the port A, D4 value is 1. It's the input operation. 0 means it is the output operation. D3 means it is a port C upper part. So 1 means input, 0 means out. So these 4 under the control of group A. Here these 3 is under the control of group B. Totally 2 groups only, group A and group B. So group B support only 2 mode operation, mode 0 and mode 1. So here D2 value is 0 means mode 0 operation, 1 means mode 1 operation. So here it is also to support 2 different types of port, 8-bit port B and lower part of the port C. So here if the value is 1 input, if the value is 0 is output. Here if the value is 1 port C input operation, 0 means port C output operation. Okay. Totally 3 different types of mode operation. So here first one is bit set reset mode. Set or reset. Okay, next one is 3 mode operation. The name of mode 0 is simple input or output. The name of mode 1 is handshake mode. Name of mode 2 is bidirectional data transfer. So we will discuss in the next video detail about the mode, 3 different types of mode operations. Thank you.